Oh, yeah. We wrote you off.
Yeah, I know you did.
Hello.
How are you?
My brother. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm videoing this.
Okay. I forgot your name. Kayla, Ollie, and Danny. Yeah. My wife Judy.
Hi.
Hi. Can I get you anything to
Oh, yes.
sip on? Sure. What would you prefer? Red,
White.
white?
Yep. Great.
What are these?
Little seltzers.
Seltzers, watermelon.
Water.
Oh, I've never seen that kind of. I mean, I've seen.
What do we got? Watermelon and
Oh, a bunch of little mixes like a
mango.
Blackberry mango.
I'll try a mango.
Yeah.
It's just, they look like those hard seltzers, but they're not. I try to give our time into shorter cans. People are going to think it's alcohol.
Yeah.
Alright.
Mango.
Yeah, well.
How you doing?
Good. Did you drive up today?
Last night.
Working on his patience and pressure of his hand.
Your artwork isn't as abstract as it used to be.
It is not. I might even talk about that a little bit tonight. Yeah.
I like the mix.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. It almost makes a little more sense to me now.
That's why you have to call to make a point.
Are we we're doing dinner afterwards, or you got food coming in, or?
We'll do dinner afterwards. We're going to do our usual, or if you want to go someplace. Yeah.
We go down to that square. Brewery down there.
You do that. We'll
I don't know, let's see.
We will definitely go out for dinner.
Yeah, we will definitely.
A favorite pastime of ours, talking about food.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. This is our first event to have after COVID in person in this space, which feels so wonderful to have everybody back. Welcome to newcomers, and welcome back for if you've been here before. Things have changed a little bit, but we're still here. We survived, and thank you for always your support through social media, through online, and all these years, and we really appreciate it. Ken, it's been a pleasure working with you for the show. An incredible view to what happened during COVID time with you. I mean, this is just spectacular. Thank you for working with us. And also, please check out his window on Genesee Street, which is spectacular. It's even better at nighttime when the lights are on. So,
Okay, thank you, Bartan.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And I want to just say thank you to Bartan and Holly for all their work and helping me get the show together. And if I keep on the thank yous here, definitely want to say thank you to Judy, my wife, for her unending patience with me, down at the studio and making it work. And of course, I saw a few students here. I don't know if there's a few here. The one thing I want to say, thank you to, of course, is my colleagues who have shown up here to support me in the show and have supported me throughout the, my time since I've been here, up here, conversation, the discussions about the art and moving forward. I mean, I think it's one of the great things about being in an art community is that, those things move you along. For the work that's up on the walls, as most of you, if you notice the dates, all of it is within this last year. So it's all fairly recent. The one right, the bigger painting right here, maybe being the oldest, and that's just from the year before. So it's all fairly recent work, and the title of the show, Works Progressing, kind of deals with the idea that this is new work that's moving, kind of moving forward, and I kind of approached it, well, in my brain, I've told myself I've approached it in a new way, but as I reflect upon the way I work, it's actually in a very similar way. For 20-some years, I painted just solely abstractly, and in those paintings, I would always kind of build a narrative in my own head of where the shapes and images and textures and forms came to and what they meant as they built and things like that. And over the couple, probably the last 10 years or so, I've been slowly bringing in more representational imagery back into the work. And if you know me, that I'm a perpetual sketcher, drawer, and if I see something that catches my eye, I pull out my camera really quick and take it. I'm a collector of sort of like images that I think stain my brain, and they'll stay up in there for a while. And what I found in this work, and through working with collage, is I will pull out those sketches, and I might pull out something, because when I draw something, it's that commitment of time, I think, that kind of impregnates whatever, or puts those images in my brain to kind of stick there, and I fester and think about them for a long time. And occasionally I'll just start a work by, putting that image or something in there, and then they begin a new life. And in the same way I've always built my pictures, they start to create a new narrative to me or how I think about it. And I think the one thing that may be new in the work is that I think it's a little bit more open to sort of like the moment of, when I have the works up all the time when I'm going on. I mean, they take a while to complete. I don't have a finished concept of them. Whatever happens in life or coincidence, something that comes up that kind of connects to the work, and I just go and put it right in. And in that way, until a sort of inner dialogue with the piece or an inner story or narrative starts to develop alongside of it. And with that, some certain themes kind of come through the work, certain motifs and things that pop up that I can always rely on and play with as sort of visual cues or stuff. But in that way, I've sort of had fun, especially in the last year, making these drawings. Because as I was just telling John over here, John Lloyd, is that it's been such a negative and sort of like overwhelming narrative. Yeah, there we go. Champion John. Overwhelming, just last few years, with all the things going on, either socially, the pandemic, all these other things. And for myself, the artwork has been a little bit of escape in terms of like creating a little positive narratives that I can kind of live in as I'm building the things. The work here, which is sort of a reference to Jack and Jill going through there, but it came to me reading Robert Frost's poem. I had actually drawn the man on the right side is somebody I sketched from an airport, and the other one is a student I drew in class, and I had them together and it came through, and then I heard this Robert Frost poem going for water, and I read through it and I thought, that's just Jack and Jill. And from that point on, the picture took its own sort of way. I got the pail in there, the blocks, the sort of pattern in the back came from an old children's book cover. I made my own kind of vintage illustration into it. And the Hijiki Bill is, my own sort of research, finding out where Jack and Jill came from, because I didn't want to have a Jack and Jill poem or whatever reference and then read about the history and find out some ugly, grim narrative to it that I didn't know. But Hijiki Bill is a Norse mythology that has to do with what they saw in the sun. It looks like two people carrying a pail, and it has to do with the the Stations of the Sun, or the sequence of the moon up there. So I snuck that into their piece there. So there's little once a piece goes, and along these, they all kind of develop in a similar way. They keep their own little narratives and grow and develop that way. And the smaller pieces, the collages, and those are more just like thinking pieces that may or not grow into a larger piece. But they're thoughts, either visual or narrative oriented that are just in process and moving along. And the only piece that I kind of surprised me and enjoyed was it maybe a little bit more on the negative side, but because it turned out the way I kind of surprised myself in the development of it. Second piece in there with the black man who's looking to the left. I did that as a demonstration in class, just showing some techniques to the students. I drew the head, and I really liked it, and I put a few other elements on it. I hung it up, and it just kind of toyed with my brain a while. I made sort of an abstract representation of the right that kind of balanced it out, but it never quite did it. And then this summer, while I'm making the woodcut for our steamrolling print up at the Institute, I was carving a bunch of stars, and I looked at that one form, and I said that was, it fit perfect in there, so I drew the star, and the piece came together. I always thought, what we looked at in terms of, sort of Black Lives Matters protests and things over there, and sort of the man in there, I thought had that kind of frustrated aggression in there, and then the star and then the line that came from the poem of Pablo Neruda poem. Now we can forget such stars, the stars that have such thorns in them. And that kind of related back to me in my own brain. That's how these narratives go for me. Sort of like a police star, going through there. And that we always think of stars as kind of, beautiful things, but they are, when you draw them, they are thorny, kind of dangerous items. And the connection came together, and it kind of completed the picture for me in like 5 minutes. And so it's how these narratives develop while I'm working that at a certain point makes the story complete, and that's when the piece is done. So that's a brief explanation of how the work develops. And so thank you all for coming to see the show. If you have any questions, if I don't have a good story for the piece, I'll make one up.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much.
Enjoy the show. There's some drinks and food. Please help yourselves. Walk around the studio if you'd like. Both hallways are filled with artwork. All of them, there's studios that are operating. There's some stuff that's in there. Feel free to walk in them and just explore. And thanks again for joining us tonight.
Trying to get the reflection away from the window. And this isn't my brother's work. It's just some other things that have been hung on the wall here in the hallway at the studio.
Everybody's got their own room here. Hey, how are you? Yeah. A lot of cleaning up downstairs. Endless. All the time. It's like, I barely finished the piece that I put it in the faculty show. Yeah, because I got a friend from the state in January. And they gave me 6 months to finish the project. So I was teaching, just like so busy. Workshop. I got all that time that I barely made a video. Because I have to do it finally.
I like that one. That's a nice piece. I like them all, but that one stands out to me. Now this is interesting. My brother told me that these twins come in and put this on a couple of chalkboards here, that they do all the scripture and make these drawings, which are incredible. The amount of work that went into all that boggles my mind.